Joining us now on Texas Sports Unfiltered, he is third-year defensive lineman for the University of Texas, Ethan Burke. Joining us every week right here on Bucky and BK, and our weekly Ethan Burke conversations are brought to you by our friends at RealTruck, the #1 truck accessory brand in the United States with top-selling upgrades for the ultimate tailgate party. Gear up for football season and bring your truck to life by going over to RealTruck.com. Ethan, it's great to see you, my man. Thanks so much for joining us today, and thanks for joining us the rest of the season. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for us to have you with us. It really is. And, I've been following your career ever through high school and straight on through now through the last couple of years at the University of Texas. And I'm going to tell you, it's nice to be in good programs, whether it's in high school or it's at the University of Texas. You come from good stock, and it must be fun over the last couple of years being around Steve Sarkisian and his unbelievable staff.
Yeah, man. I've been lucky. The high school program was great, and now here at Texas, we're off to a good start this year, and the last 3 years have been fantastic.
Yeah, well, kind of going backwards, Ethan, when you got here, it was year 2 of the Steve Sarkisian era, right? Texas was still trying to figure out its identity as a program, and obviously you guys have skyrocketed over the last couple of seasons, winning the Big 12 last year, making it to the college football playoff last year, but things have risen to another level so far in 2024. What's it been like to be a part of the rise of Texas football over these past couple of seasons?
Yeah, for me, it's been really fun and exciting, honestly. My freshman year, they were coming off a bad season. So for me, I kind of just trusted my coaches, and now we're where we're at, and we're just continuing to get better,
Yeah, and when you say trusting the coaches, I mean, Sark's been very blunt about his feelings about his players. And obviously the players, to a man, has talked about how honest he is and how out front he is with his emotions, the way he is, his life, the way his life has been. That must help an awful lot when you're a student athlete and you're looking for guidance. You're very lucky. You live real close to here. But for some of these guys that are pretty far away and mom and dad aren't around to kind of bang things off of where they can get home within a couple minutes, he must be that guy that really helps out a lot for a lot of different guys, including yourself.
Yeah, and I definitely see that. Just the honesty that he has, and all the coaches, honestly. So to be able to speak to them and have a good relationship with them is huge for the whole team, and it brings everyone together, from coaches to players, and then just the whole locker room.
Yeah, Ethan, I want to ask about your new defensive line coach this year, Kenny Baker. Obviously, a couple of different coaches on the defensive staff for you guys here in 2024. But what's it been like getting to work with Kenny Baker some, with Johnny Nansen some? What's it been like with a couple of new guys on the defensive side of the football?
Yeah, I feel like I've known both those guys for a long time, my whole college football career so far. And having them around, they really push the players, but they're also positive, and I've gotten to know them, and I can have conversations with them, not about football and off the field, and then they're there to push me and make me a better player.
Coming into this program, you had to put on some weight. You had to do some things that were just a little bit different for you than you were in high school. Obviously, you always have had the length, but you needed that girth. Tell us about your strength and conditioning coach. I always have to ask about that guy, because this has been something. It's remarkable to see what this team is like now over the last couple of years. And talk about your strength and conditioning coach and what he's done for you.
Yeah, Coach Beck, his workouts are legit. Yeah, me and him, we get along well, and he pushes me pretty hard. He pushes everyone really hard. And I mean, not everyone can handle it sometimes, and it is really difficult, but it really has helped me become more mentally tough and stronger in that aspect, as well as obviously put on the weight I've needed to succeed at this high of a level.
Yeah, Ethan, sorry that my co-host is asking you about your girth on our first conversation. We plan on having you on every week for the rest of the season. I didn't think we were that personal already,
Yeah, we goes back to the locker room and talked about girth. Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh. Hey, obviously a big game coming up this Saturday, but we got to go back to last Saturday, man. I mean, how much fun was that? Not only beating Oklahoma, but dominating OU. You guys kept the Sooners out of the end zone. Hell, that last possession of the game, I was there at the Cotton Bowl. The crowd was still going nuts. You guys had starters in on the defense. I mean, it felt personal to keep Oklahoma out of the paint this past weekend. What was that whole experience like, winning against Oklahoma 34-3?
Yeah, so to be so dominant this year after, a tough loss last year was I think a great feeling for all the returning players. Last year was really tough, but it's a new year, so like for us, it was doing the best we can, and we took last year personal and gave them everything we had, honestly, till the end of the game, all 60 minutes, really.
At preparation, Sark always talks about you guys prepare the same way. Your culture is what your culture is. This is the way you prepare. It doesn't matter who you play. From Louisiana Monroe to the road runners down the road here to Georgia and Oklahoma. Is preparation the same mentally for you each and every week now? I mean, is it just, do you look towards the game and say, I can't wait 2 games from now, I got to play Georgia, or 3 games down the road where Kentucky is pretty good now all of a sudden? Or you got, when it says take it week to week, is it truly week to week or practice to practice for you guys?
Yeah, it really is. I'm in such a routine at this point. Everything's so routine that it's really just day by day and what I have to do, waking up, what I have to do the first hour of waking up, what's my preparation like in meetings, and then just getting ready for practice. What do I do to like mentally get myself ready to go to practice? And then physically I got to go out and execute it. So take care of my bodies. We have all the resources, to allow us to be there physically. So for me, it's so routine. It's really like a day by day thing, honestly.
Now, Ethan, let me ask you this. And at Westlake, were you guys morning guys? Did you have practice? Because I know in the state of Texas, a lot of high school teams practice. They've been going through this routine in football like all their lives in the morning. I mean, did you guys do morning practices too?
Yeah. We had 2 morning practices, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was 5:30 start. So I would set my alarm 4:45.
Whoa.
Was legit for high school. I lived about 10 minutes away and just flying down there, trying to get there half asleep.
Getting prepared for college football and getting ready for class after a practice in the morning. That's not a bit. You're a morning person. Your team is morning people now.
Yeah. We're forced to be it. We're forced to be it. Like there's no other option.
Man,
that's true. We're forced to be it. Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. I'm not saying I don't like it or enjoy it, but some people don't, but they have to,
Do you know the ones, you can tell the ones on your team that just don't like the morning, huh?
It just takes them a few more minutes to get there,
Yeah.
We need some more time.
I think when I was in college, I was waking up at 4:45 p.m. most days. So respect to you for getting up early. Ethan Burke joining us here on Bucky and BK. Our weekly conversations with Ethan brought to you by our great friends at RealTruck.com. Gear up for football season and bring your truck to life over at RealTruck.com. So kind of following up on that, Ethan, you mentioned mental preparation, right? Like it's got to be tough. I think you have 2 full-time jobs. You're a college student and you're a college athlete. Like, how are you able to balance that, to manage your time and to make sure that you are mentally locked in every single day so you can do what you need to do both on the field and in the classroom?
Yeah. For school, it's really just going to the academic center. We have such great academic advisors helping us all the time, and they get us tutors if we need them. I find I do pretty well in school, so I don't find it too tough, honestly. They help us out with the schedules, really. And then with just finding extra time to watch film, and think about the game or watch one of the opponent's games live, whatever you can do, really in your free time, find any minute you can just to get some extra film and prepare mentally for that next game.
That facility is open all day long to you guys, huh? From sun up to just about sundown. If you've got an hour, 2 hours in your day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Going back to the Oklahoma game, Ethan, I mean, I'm sorry to bring up bad memories, but I know last year left a sour taste in y'all's mouth. How much internally, externally, I know you guys try to focus on yourselves, and Steve Sarkisian always talks about being enamored with yourselves, right? Not worrying about what Bucky and I or anybody else in the media has to say. But how much did you take into consideration what happened at the Cotton Bowl last year in your preparation for the Oklahoma game this year?
Yeah, I mean, this year it's new year, so obviously I still had that in the back of my head, thinking about that, but it couldn't be the main focus. The main focus had to be this week and who they are now as a new team and who we are. So I think things changed, but there's definitely something in the back of, I would say, our team's head, like from what they did last year after the game, that stuck with us.
Yeah, well, this week, Ethan, will be a challenge of all challenges in your football career, playing against the Georgia Bulldogs. This is the elite of the elite. Now, you played in an elite university, and everything that you have, everything you say about everything surrounding, whether it's academically, training table, everything is perfect as it can get. But this football program that's coming here from Athens, Georgia, has been the elite of the elites over the last couple of years. Preparation for that, just like it was for any other game. There's nothing that you guys, there's no details that you leave uncovered in a game like this. Do you do it? Is there that extra though this week, knowing that you're playing the team that, I mean, you guys have pretty much outmanned everybody that you played. I mean, 6-0, and we can go back and we can talk about how hard you prep for these other games. But dude, your team has been better than the opponents that you played, and that is because of hard work, and that's because you guys have a lot of depth. But is there something a little extra about this game this week?
Yeah, they are a really talented team, and they have been for a long time now, and they've won national championships. And for us, every week it's finding that extra. Every week gets a little harder. You're further into the season, your body's hurting more. Mentally, you're a little less out of it. So it's just digging deeper every week. It doesn't really matter who the opponent are. We know who we're playing, and we're preparing the best we can to go out there and win this game.
Yeah. What are you seeing out of Carson Beck, Ethan? I know our listeners want me to ask you what the game plan is on Saturday. We're not going to do that. But Carson Beck, one of the Heisman favorites going into the season, the guy who's got a chance to be a first-round pick next April. From what you've been watching on film, what do you see about him? What do you like about his game?
Yeah, he certainly is really talented. I think he is pretty fast. He's sneaky athletic in a way. So we're paying attention to our pass rush lanes, so not letting him scramble. We have an idea of where he likes to scramble to, if he likes to throw when he scrambles. And he's obviously a great passer, and he's a smart player. So
do people call you sneaky athletic too? Was that a white stereotype you just threw on Carson Beck there, Ethan?
I didn't know how to phrase it in another way, but that's how it is,
He's a great free throw shooter, I've heard too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this, Ethan. The fact that every day you go against some of the best offensive linemen in the country, you've been doing that. Your offensive line is rated as one of the top lines. Mm-hmm. This will help because this week you'll see some big dudes. There won't be any short, stubby little guys around here this week coming into DKR Stadium. You're going to see behemoth guys. But you get to practice against those type of players every day. How much does that help you going against your own offensive line over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think so much. It prepares us so well going into the games, and it makes it easier for us. And this is a really good offensive line we're playing. But every day in practice, we're against huge guys. Cam Williams, 6'7", whatever he weighs, he's huge. And then the first, second string, and third string guys are all huge humans. So every day going against those guys prepares us. And the scout team guys are huge as well. So it really does. I think it does give us an edge going into the game at the line of scrimmage, and I hope we do the same for the offensive line.
Ethan Burke joining us on Texas Sports Unfiltered, and the weekly Ethan Burke conversation is brought to you by our friends at RealTruck.com. Ethan, last one from me. How much fun was that pick six against UTSA a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, one of the best moments in my career, honestly. So much fun. That stadium was going wild, and the lights, all about it. Such a great moment. I was so excited to do it in DKR, man.
That was your first touchdown at Texas, right?
It was. First
one
since freshman year of high school, man. So.
Okay, that was my next question. So you got into the end zone as a freshman at Westlake, but none after that.
None after that, man. It's been a while. So that one really, really was great for me.
Well, yeah. Let me just say this: as you've grown with the program, tell me about the excitement so far this season with the crowds at DKR and having that home field advantage.
Oh, it is definitely a home field advantage, no doubt. I I think at the Cotton Bowl we were much louder. And then every home game is 110,000 packed. I have a blast. I'm always dancing on the sidelines, having great energy, and the fans bring some of the best energy.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, I can't wait for Saturday. I'm sure you're pumped as well. And we're pumped about this weekly interview segment, Ethan. Thanks so much for joining us today. Sorry we asked you about your girth during our first conversation. We promise that won't be a weekly thing, brother, but appreciate you joining us and look forward to having you on the rest of the season.
Yeah, no problem.
Welcome, man.
Welcome, baby. Appreciate it, guys.